Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with ddStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did this card. It is using an embossing folder called Woodlands, which is this one here from Stampin Up. And also I brought in the set Happy Scenes. And so I'm going to show you how I took these two products and had them work together. So to begin with, I'm going to take in my Woodland stamps, or embossing folder, and I'm also using, for this technique, I'm actually using a piece of the shimmery white cardstock, and I don't know if you can see that, but it has a little shimmer to it. It just is really, it's a beautiful piece of cardstock. But I'm going to do a little bit of watercoloring, and I like the shimmery white because it holds up so well with water. And I'm coming in with some Mossy Meadow ink and Soft Sky. Those are the two colors that I'm going to use today. So to begin with, I'm going to look at my embossing folder, and these pieces in here are flat, and the actual tree trunk is a valley. So you want to be, I want to be using, I'm going to be stamping on this part here, the flat part. So I want to make sure that that's the part that's up, and I'm going to ink up my little trees here. And then I'm going to take them and I'm going to stamp directly onto this embossing folder. And you can see that I'm just using Stampin' Up's regular classic ink. So it won't dry on that embossing folder. If you use a permanent ink, it's going to dry, and that's not going to make you very happy. So you're going to lay your cardstock in there, fold down your embossing folder, and then I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. I will be right back. Now I ran that through the Big Shot, and just so you're aware, when I put my folders, you'll see it still has some green ink on there, so you're going to need to clean that off. But when I run my folders through my Big Shot, I always make sure that the seam of the embossing folder is the part that goes in first. That way, if you go the opposite way, sometimes this will crack because this will all get pushed towards this way if it's not perfectly lined up. So if you start with the seam going in first, that's your best bet. And then go right through your Big Shot. So what I have here now is a piece of the shimmery white cardstock with the trees actually behind, or the pine trees behind the birch trees. And I love the look of this, but what really makes this card pop is when you come in with some ink and an aqua painter, and this is why I use the shimmery white. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and, an aqua painter has water in the tube here, and if you just give it a little squeeze, that water starts to come out, and then you've got a great brush for watercoloring. But I'm just going to put a little ink on there and then run it down right in between those tree trunks. And so the tree trunks will kind of help keep that watercolor exactly where you want it. And I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down. And it doesn't matter that that has stamping on it because it'll bleed out a little bit, but that's okay because this little part of the hill would be a little bit darker. So you're just going to go ahead and watercolor all my grassy areas. And then I'm going to clean this off, and how I do that is I just run it onto a piece of scrap paper. I'll just grab another piece of paper, and you just write with it on there until it shows clear. And then I'm going to come in with the blue, and this I want to be a real light blue. And this time I'm actually going to start on the side of the trees. And this is what makes those birch trees just pop, because it really highlights that they're there. And again, that embossing helps to keep the trees, or the ink, the blue ink, exactly where you want it. And you just keep going through the whole thing. And there you have it, just a really quick watercolor painting. And what you want to do is you want to be very careful around these trees because they will bleed out a little bit if you get them wet. So I took a piece, this cardstock was actually 4 by 5 1/4, and then I just mounted it right onto that pool party. And that's how you get this look of the birch trees with the pine trees behind it. And you could stamp anything behind those. But just a fun technique, pretty easy to do. I just love this embossing folder. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you want to learn more tips, tricks, and techniques from me, just go ahead and sign up for my newsletter at my website at www.ddStamps.com, where I also have a list of all the supplies I use to do this card. So thank you, and I hope you have a great day.